Welcome to EduRev. My name is Yashovardhan Mishra and I've qualified the UPSC Civil Services Prelims exam in 2019 and in 2017. I've written the UPSC mains with geography as my optional subject, and today we'll be starting with the banking system. So what is a commercial bank? It is basically a financial intermediary between the saver and the borrower. So people come and save their money in the banking system, and the bank lend the money to the people for different economic as well as personal activities. So the starting was when the Reserve Bank of India was established in 1935 and it got nationalized in 1949. Again, in the year 1969 and in 1980, government nationalized the private commercial banks. So the purpose was to shift from class banking to mass banking. The government wanted to provide financial services even to the poorer people. So what are the different classification of banks? So first one is public sector bank, the private sector bank and the cooperative bank. Public sector bank are those which are owned by government, and presently there are around 12 public sector banks. Now we'll come to commercial banks. So there are two type of commercial banks. First is scheduled commercial bank and the other one is non-scheduled banks. So scheduled commercial banks are those which are included in the second schedule of RBI Act 1934, and non-scheduled banks which are not under second schedule. Now we'll see the different type of banks. So these classification is based upon their function, which kind of activity they promote. First one is development banks. They provide long-term capital. Remember, long-term capital for industries as well as agriculture. Some examples are IFCI, which is Industrial Finance Corporation of India, IDBI Bank, ICICI Bank, and NABARD. NABARD is basically National Agricultural Bank for Rural Development. Second one is Paytm banks. We all have heard of Paytm. We have heard of Airtel Bank. So these are the payment banks. So their aim is to increase financial inclusion, all right, and they can accept demand deposit, but they cannot hold more than 1 lakh rupees per customer. Also, they cannot offer credit or they cannot offer loans. Okay. Next one is small finance bank. The aim is to provide a whole range of basic banking services such as deposit and supply, but in limited area of operation. That's why we called it as small finance bank. So the target section here are farmers, MSMEs and the other unorganized sectors. Now comes the cooperative bank. So they are organized and managed on the principle of cooperation, self-help and mutual help. Profit maximization is not their goal. Okay, and the rule of this bank is one member, one vote, and no profit, no loss. All right, and they get financial help from RBI, NABARD, and some other institutions. Now come the non-banking financial companies. So they have been recently in news. So these are the companies registered under Companies Act 1956. Most important thing about these banks are, unlike banks, normal banks which are regulated by RBI, NBFCs are regulated by multiple organizations like IRDA, that is Insurance and Regulatory Development Authority. Okay, and as they are not regulated by RBI, CRR is not required, which means these banks does not have to put certain amount in the RBI, all right, in the form of cash reserve ratio. Also, the principal business is receiving deposit. They can lend and make investment, but they cannot accept demand deposit, unlike the payment banks which can accept the demand deposits. Now we'll see the major banking issues. So we all have heard of non-performing assets, which are the most important issue of the banking system today. So basically these are the bad loans, the loans on the accounts of borrowers who have not or who have defaulted the payment of interest and installment of the principal for at least 90 days. Means those who have not paid their interest or installments of the principal amount for at least 90 days. Okay. So why NPA issue occur? Why it is happening? So basically it is largely a fallout of bank's credit appraisal system. Bank is without knowing the customer, without properly assessing them, is providing loan easily. All right, and because of which they are defaulting it. Second one is lack of monitoring of the end usage of fund. The third one is the overall economic environment of the country. Example, when the global recession occurred in 2008, the NPAs rise very high because people was losing their job and they was not in a state to pay their installments. All right, so these are the basic issues. So what are the measures to solve the NPA issue? First one is capital adequacy requirement. So it is the capital required to be set aside for absorbing the risk. So basically it is the ratio of bank's capital to its risk weighted capital. Okay, so it means bank has to put aside some money. So let's say the money they have given as loans has been defaulted, so it does not affect the bank that much. Okay, so this is called the capital adequacy ratio. Next one is foreclosure. It means taking over the property of the person who has defaulted the loan and mortgaging it. Then there is a SARFAESI Act 2002. It also helped for the in fasting the process of loan recovery. Then there is asset restructuring company. It is basically an outsourced firm which have expertise in loan recovery. So hiring these kind of ARCs can help in solving the NPA issues. Then the government has recently started the Fugitive Economic Offender Act 2008. So basically those people who have defaulted of minimum 100 crore rupees are known as fugitive economic offenders. Those who have defaulted a loan of let's say 100 crore and have left the country or fled the country. So they are known as fugitive economic offenders. Example, you have heard of Vijay Mallya, Nirav Modi, etc. Then there is the Basel norm. These norms are basically guidelines for prudential banking. So following these norms can help us solving the NPA issues. Now, in the economic survey of 2015 and 2016 financial year, the government has given the 4R strategy, which includes recognition of NPA quickly, recapitalization of banks, infusing bank with let's say money, resolution of NPAs quickly by either hiring ARCs or other institutions, and reform in the entire banking mechanism. Then there is a method called prompt corrective action. This has been initiated by RBI. This method ensures that banks don't go bust. RBI has put up in place some trigger points to assess, monitor, control and take corrective actions on banks which are weak and trouble. Okay, so basically it is a method which alert the RBI as soon as they sense that the bank is getting, let's say, bank has less money. All right, so it alerts the RBI and then RBI comes to action and it helps the bank to revive it. Now some major banking reforms. So there has been many reforms since the nationalization of bank. So we'll learn about the most important ones. First one is the Narasimhan Committee report of 1991 and 1998. So it basically gives some recommendation like creating level playing field between public, private and foreign sector banks, reducing the SLR, that is statutory liquidity ratio, and the CRR, which will help banks to have more money so that they can lend more. Okay. Then there is bank consolidation. We have seen in the recent news that SBI and other banks have been merged. Then setting up ARCs. ARCs are basically for resolving the NPA issues. These are the asset restructuring companies. And then deregulating the interest rate. Then there is the PJ Nayak committee. So these committee recommended for the formation of Bank Board of Bureau, which decide the appointment of chairman or let's say director of major banks. Third one is the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, which is used for resolving the insolvencies, alright, in a quick manner, in a less cumbersome manner. And the fourth one is the bank consolidation, so that many small banks get consolidated into one large bank so that the NPAs issue of those smaller bank got resolved and the bank itself can lend more to the people. So this is all for today. And this is the entire banking system done. Alright, so I'll see you in the next video. Have a safe day. Bye. Now, as you have completed this topic, तो आपको चेक करना है कि आपको ये टॉपिक समझ में आया है कि नहीं आया. तो how would you do that? By solving the questions. सो आपको क्वेश्चंस कहाँ मिलेंगे? आपको क्वेश्चंस मिलेंगे एडुरेव इन्फिनिटी पे। सो एडुरेव इन्फिनिटी पे आपको सब्जेक्ट वाइज मैनर में टॉपिक वाइज क्वेश्चन का पूरा सेट मिलेगा। ऑलराइट, तो आपको यहाँ पे पूरे टेस्ट एज वेल एज पीडीएफ फॉर्म में डॉक्यूमेंट्स भी अवेलेबल हैं। सो अगर आपने अभी तक एडुरेव इन्फिनिटी सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया है तो जाके सब्सक्राइब करें एंड इन क्वेश्चंस को प्रैक्टिस करना स्टार्ट करिए।